Hi guys, this is Mom. I'm going to show you how to make dinner rolls. I'll send you the recipe in writing, but I'm just going to show you how to do the, please don't show me. So this is 2 cups of warm water. It's above tepid, but it's not hot, and that's kind of key because that activates the yeast, and if you don't have it warm enough, it won't activate the yeast and the rolls won't rise. If you have it too hot, you'll kill the yeast. So you put your finger under the water and let it run, and then you wait till it gets tepid, and then just before it starts to get hot, then you quick grab 2 cups of it. This is the yeast. It comes in packages. It's dry active yeast. It is not rapid rising yeast. They come in little envelopes, and this is the quantity that comes out of two of the envelopes. It doesn't matter if it's Fleischmann's or whatever the other kind is. And you pour that in. This is a 1/2 cup of sugar. You just pour that in. This is a 1/4 cup of oil. You pour that in. 2 teaspoons of salt, and you can't shortchange it because that has to do with activating the yeast as well. So it doesn't matter what kind of salt it is, but it's 2 teaspoons, and you pour that in. There's 1 egg. You crack that in, so you have it all kind of dumped in together. And then from here, you have to be careful because if you put too much flour, it messes it up. So right from the start, you can put 3 big scooping cupfuls. And what you want to do is you want to mix it in real good so that all the other ingredients get mixed in together. So definitely 3 heaping cups is not going to be an issue. But from there, you just have to move cautiously because if you put too much flour in, it messes it up completely, and it's just so dry that you can't do anything with it. So right here, you're mixing in the eggs and the sugar and the salt and everything, and it makes this goopy kind of runny sort of mixture. So now from here, I'm just going to scoop a little bit at a time and mix it in. Make sure that I don't put too much. And as you'll see, as you get to the point where it's the right amount, which is approximately somewhere between 5 and 6 cups, you'll start to see the consistency change. So this is still too gooey. So I'll sprinkle a little bit more flour, maybe 1/3 to 1/2 cup at a time, until I make sure I have just enough and not too much. So you can see it's starting to get thicker, but it's still really sticky. This isn't something I could touch with my hands, because if I did, it would be completely stuck to my hands and I wouldn't be able to do anything with it. So this is kind of an important part where you have to kind of trial and error, get to the right amount, and you'll be able to tell when we get there because you'll see what it does. It's still completely sticking to the bowl. So I'm going to add a little bit more, again about 1/3 cup at a time until you get to the right amount. We're getting pretty close, and you can tell that because it's not so sticky that if you, well, this is still too sticky. See, it's sticking to my finger. So I still have to add a little bit more. Stir it around. Probably using your finger to sort of touch it is probably a good indicator. See, now I'm touching it and it's not coming off on my fingers. So at this point, you want to clear yourself some space. Take a handful of flour and spread it evenly on the countertop, like that. I take a spatula because I know you guys have one because I've bought it for you. And you want to scrape all the dough. See how it comes out and the bowl is almost pretty much clean. It doesn't have any dough really stuck to it. Just set that aside. Take a little more flour, sprinkle it on top. And then this is kind of an art in itself. It's the kneading process. So kind of get it into a ball, take the leading edge and push it in. Turn it, leading edge, and you push it in with your heels of your hands. And you keep turning it and pushing. Turn and push. You bring a little more flour in, turn and push. See how I'm pushing with my palms of my hands? Into the middle. Push and push. Keep scooping up a little flour and push. And you keep turning and pushing. Turning and pushing. And when you get to the point where it feels and looks really smooth, then you take your dough, roll it over, plop it into the bowl. I'm going to put a towel over the top of this. I'm going to put it in the oven. Cold oven, obviously. Top shelf. I'm going to put a bowl of super piping hot water underneath, and we're going to let it rise for an hour. Pause it.